approved a waiver request by Boise State to provide immediate assistance to Bronco football recruit Antoine, a Hurricane Katrina victim who is currently homeless. Now, Joe, the TV station there in Boise ran with the story about this, and then the compliance office for Boise State came out and said, alumni, supporters, boosters, you can't help this kid because we're in fear of an NCAA violation. Luckily, it got sorted out, but what do you think about the NCAA acting this quickly to get it sorted out?
Boise files the waiver last night, and by this afternoon, they're being told, listen, do whatever you need to do to take care of this player. You need to provide him a home if you need to give him food, go ahead and do it. And so it looks like he's going to be able to come on a campus at Boise State a week or two earlier, of course, as we know, once he gets there, of room and board.
Well, I've ripped the NCAA as much as anybody over the criticism that they've justifiably earned over time, but in this case, they have earned their praise. And the response was, hey, Boise State, do what you need to do to help this kid who's homeless. Hey, let's get more of this. I mean, come on, NCAA, good stuff.
It's common sense.
But here's the thing, Casey. Does it open up a can of worms for every other potential situation out there and open it up for abuses? Because as we know, when the door is opened up a crack with college athletics and big-time money is involved, that door is kicked wide open.
And it's a good door to have kicked open. If we do this for one person and it has a good outcome like this, why shouldn't we do it for 100? And yet the NCAA has to do a lot of extra work and make sure people are in compliance. That's fine. I think of it this way. When you go into a store, they don't treat you, they're not trying to treat you as if you're going to steal something. They're trying to treat you as if you're trying to buy something. When you get most of these students and most of these people coming into into the program and trying to help the program, they're trying to help this kid out. They're trying to help these kids out. We should do more of this. We don't need just one Michael Orr. We need 100 Michael
I tend to be a little more cynical. I don't know about you.
Keep in mind, recently the NCAA changed the hardship waiver process. You used to be able to transfer home closer to a sick relative and have immediate eligibility. The NCAA changed that. No more immediate eligibility, an extra year of eligibility on the back end, because some people felt that the system was
I'm not as much of a cynic as you guys are about this.
You don't think this is going to be abused?
I don't. I think what happens is when you think this way, you get manuals that are 2,000 pages with all these little rules, and you're assuming that everybody's bad and wrong, and you go after those few, and a lot of good people and good things get lost in the mix. So that's the problem. And if the NCAA is moving away from that model, and they're stepping it up and responding like this, and they're saying, do what you need to do to help the kid, that's a good thing.
They're helping kids, but let's not be naive. There are reasons here, including political pressure.
Look, if the NCAA has to spend more time and effort in policing it, fine. They don't even have time to police the rules that they have in place right now. They wouldn't be able to do this.
They got too many crazy rules.
Well, I don't disagree with that.
How ironic.
Well, we don't have 8 hours to talk about that. But one of the rules they're proposing, another rule out there, they might add to that 2,000-page rule book, is giving football players off in the month of July. Now, Rod, when you think about this, I think about that and I say, they already have most of July off, don't they really? I mean, they don't really start practice preparing for the year until August.
Yeah, this may not be a huge thing, but it does have a little impact. I think coaches are really going to like this. It gives them a little bit more time to do things they want to do. It'll get some players away from the media. They don't have to do the opening conference, things like that. But players will still do the voluntary work in July and early August before they get to camp.
If you cut these players loose for a month and say, we'll see you in August, that'd be the worst thing that could happen.
Why is that?
Because what you're going to see is, without having the coaches around the players, they're going to get in trouble more often.
Why is
supervision Winston school that every kid needs a babysitter?
But why is an extra month of supervision such a bad thing? They're not working to death in July. A lot of them are in school anyways. They go out there and throw a few pass patterns with quarterbacks and receivers.
We can't assume that if you allow young men to be young men for a month, that most of them are going to wind up in trouble, as Joe is suggesting. That's not a reason to have a rule to babysit them for July.
If this is a reaction to all this unionization, people saying that are they employees, do they work too much, is it a full-time? Yes, it does.
No.
The reason that any athletics director or commissioner would consider this is because they want to be able to say, you know what, it's not a full-time job. We don't require them to do something 12 months a year.
There are a lot of factors that are forcing people in college football to look at opening things up for student athletes, more than just the union issue. But this is a good thing because it's gone the wrong way. So
All right.
if they're talking about opening up for July as a time to be a student,
Let me ask you if this is a good thing. The Gabe Eichert story. We're familiar with Pastagate, where he had some of his teammates had to donate $3 in change to a charity because they were given pasta at a graduation party. Well, now the undrafted rookie with the Titans said that the Oklahoma Compliance Office asked him to sign an affidavit confirming that the girl he was spotted with the Oklahoma City Thunder game, a great seat sport apparently, was in fact his girlfriend, and that she wasn't there with him just because he was an Oklahoma football player. Oklahoma says it's standard practice, standard procedure. What do you make of this? This is ridiculous. Yes, she is my girlfriend. I sign off on it.
I think, look, they're a private business, the Thunder are, and if they want to give their tickets to players, they should be able to give their tickets to players. If they want to give their tickets to a man on the street, they should be able to give their tickets to the man on the street. I don't know why the NCAA thinks they get to tell the Thunder how they can run their business. I think the NCAA
what if the owner of the Thunder is also an Oklahoma graduate, and he says, you guys come here, you can go to every single Thunder game you want, front row, right there next to the bench.
It's his business.
Well, that sounds like a dirty pool to me.
First of all, this is Oklahoma. This is not the NCAA, so let's not throw them under the bus. NCAA didn't make this kid sign any affidavit. It was Oklahoma that did this.
Because Oklahoma's scared of the NCAA.
Change is tough for everybody, and we're still working through some of that. But I agree with KC. I mean, you know, the physics student, the high-tech guy with the tech companies that want to bring him out there, no restrictions, no issues. Let's take a step back and re-look at what's going on in college football and look at the rules that make sense and those that don't.